Lost Haven streets are packed with classic cars, sharp-dressed mobsters, and a whole lot of bullets. Think modern traffic is bad? Try dodging drive-bys and outraging cops in a vintage taxi. In this game, if you're not breaking 5 traffic laws a minute, are you even a gangster? I played Mafia Definitive Edition, so you don't have to. The game opens us with a gripping and cinematic introduction that sets the stage for the entire story with Tommy Angelo, the protagonist, sitting in a dimly lit diner. He's visibly tense and looking over his shoulder, indicating he's expecting trouble. He's there to meet Detective Norman, a detective willing to listen to Tommy's story. Tommy proposes a deal to Norman. In exchange for protection for himself and his family, he'll spill the beans on a mob family that we don't know the name of yet. So this is how the story begins. We are set back to 1930, where Tom is just an ordinary taxi driver in Lost Haven. On a fateful night, while taking a break, he's forced into assisting 2 mobsters, Polly and Sam, who are on the run from a rival gang. Again, we don't know the name yet. Now, we are already introduced into driving mechanics in this game, and to be honest, they don't suck surprisingly. However, what sucks are the NPCs. They're way too slow taking turns and just driving in general. I get that there are speed limits, but they are not even driving 40 miles per hour or 65 kilometers. As well as civilians are super weird, like they like to stand still, and when crossing they decide mid-cross to turn back, as well as when taking off from the train everyone has to stand still for some reason. I don't know, maybe they didn't have stations back then. Also, ragdoll physics are non-existent. In the game, whenever you hit a civilian they just stand still. I don't know, maybe they're made of steel or some kind of hard metal. Who knows, maybe they're even not humans. The game also has a feature called manual and automatic transitions for the car, and it doesn't suck, but it kinda pisses me off that the RPMs have to be 100% in order to switch gears. However, to solve our problem, there is a manual which I used at the start of the game as well as during the race, but we will get to that later on. There is also a feature called realistic driving, but short story is that you have to press left and right in order to drive straight, and when you are driving in the rain it's more slippery as well as when you're turning. 10 out of 10 times you're going to drift unless you drive like an old lady, but I switched back to normal since it's more fitted for me. Anyways, back to the story. After we escaped the chase, Tommy's quick thinking and driving skills impressed Polly and Sam. Sam came outside and gave us the envelope filled with, you guessed it, the money, the dinero, the dough, call it whatever you want. But we got fat stack of it, setting off a chain of events that are going to happen after we went back to being a taxi driver. Because we knew the risk of being involved in this kind of life, we basically did just 3 taxi drives, and let me tell you, the first one was a really bad start. The lady said she doesn't want us to drive fast, so we had to use a speed limiter. Then she said she didn't want to listen to music, so we had to turn it off the radio, but at least we got 30 cents. Yay. Anyways, we dropped 2 more blokes, and one of them was pretty funny because he was drunk the whole time. After that, we were jumped while being on a break by 2 Donnies who were in one of the families, and we ran as fast as we could to a restaurant where we dropped off Sam and Polly. And surprisingly, they protected us. That's when we were introduced into a criminal underworld when we met Dawn.
Frank told me you ran into some trouble?
Yes, sir. My cab got smashed up pretty good.
Morello's thugs went after him by the kind of Tommy helping us.
This, taxi, that's your livelihood?
Yes, sir.
I feel a sense of responsibility here. So I'm gonna set you up with a small loan, enough to get that cab of yours fixed up.
I appreciate that, sir, but I'm not looking for a handout.
Then what are we doing here?
I just want a shot at the bastards who wrecked my cab.
You hear that, Frank? The kid wants my permission to get into a fight.
Yes, I heard.
Okay, Tommy Angelo. All the Morella's girls hang out at a bar he owns. Oh, you know the place.
Now, the Don's family name is Salieri, and the guys that were chasing us were in Morello's family. These families saved each other, basically. Tommy asked if he could take a revenge on Morello's family, and Salieri agreed. He also said that after the job was done, he should come back and talk to him. Now, before we actually go and do some collateral damage to them, Paulie showed us the way to Vincenzo.
I'm going to Vincenzo!
Ciao, Polly. Oh, she's gonna sing!
He was the guy that knows and gives us the weapons. So he gave us the bats and some Molotovs, because we are going to destroy some cars.
Hey, genius! Get your head out of your ass!
What the fuck there, Polly? You can't just sneak up on a guy like that.
After that, we met Ralphie, a mechanic that stutters a lot, but he's a master at what he does. That's basically making stolen cars legitimately yours and so on. Now we needed some Hot Wheels to take for a spin, and Ralphie gave us the best of the best. A car that can barely go 20 on a hill and 30 straight. Basically, garbage. Anyways, we came to the location. Tommy sneaked around the bar. Paulie distracted the guard at the gate, so Tommy took him out. This was our chance to wreck some cars. However, more guards came outside, so we had to take them out, as well as 2 other cars, but this time we used Molotovs instead of taking it out with a bat. Now, Paulie didn't want to go back at the HQ with piece of shit garbage cars, so we basically stole one of Morello's cars in the garage. We lost the cops and we came back. Now was the time to meet the Don again. We got accepted in family, but under 3 rules.
I'm glad to hear it. I got a growing business here. We could use a guy like you to help out around the bar. Maybe run some errands, make sure the bills get paid on time. You up for that?
Oh, it'd be an honor, sir.
Good. Good. Now, Polly and Sam have already vouched for you, but you need to understand we have a few rules around here, so you listen and listen good. First, no cursing on the premises. There's a million words out there. And the man who needs to resort to fuck this and fuck that is just ignorant or lazy. Second, we don't deal in the hard stuff. I don't want any dope fiends in this neighborhood. We'll let Morella poison his own people if that's what he wants. Finally, stay out of trouble with the cops. We only have a few on the payroll. And if you cross the line, the rest will come after you. You understand?
Yes, Mr. Salieri.
The day after, we came back to Vincenzo, who gave us a piece or a gun, and Ralphie showed us how to lockpick a car instead of smashing the windows. Now we took Sam and Paulie with us to collect the money. So the first stop was at the bakery. It went smoothly, but an old lady was also telling us some friendly Italian words. Then we went to the second stop. Now, Paulie wanted to do it alone, but from outside it seemed peaceful, so he broke someone's legs, I guess, at least he said that. And the third stop was at a motel. The motel owned some money to Salieri before, so they had to pay up more this time. It was everything else except that. Paulie got shot, Sam is captured, and we had to save him and get the money. So we sneaked again on top of the motel, killed some guards in the hallways and in the bar. Rescued Sam, kinda, since he was beaten up, but all of a sudden a guy charged into us. And we had to chase him. So we followed him with a car, took some goons out with our crappy pistol that had infinite amount of ammo, and charged into this yellow car and took the money. From then on, we knew that there was not coming back from this kind of life.
Tommy, thanks for getting down here so quickly.
Yeah, sure thing, boss. What do you need?
A few days later, Don came to Tommy and told him a story about the racing that's going to happen tomorrow, and how he bets on this driver named Mike. He made Don lots of money after he invested in him. Now, there was also a small problem. Apparently, there was some European Max Verstappen climbing the ranks, so he had to do a little sabotage. Came outside, there was Ralphie saying that he knows some guy named Bobby that we tipped off who's gonna give us the Verstappen's car so we can drive it to yet another mechanic named Lucas who's gonna fuck up his engine. And let me tell you, driving this car felt like taking drugs. It's fast, we did some crazy drifts as well, so I couldn't wait for tomorrow to see the race.
Built like brick shithouses.
What were you carrying?
My dick.
That's right. This crazy bastard, he waltzes out of the bathroom, just starts pissing all over the joint.
Really? What, he didn't call the cops?
Sometimes you just gotta make them think you're crazy.
Tom, you got a moment?
When all of a sudden Frank came to Tommy, Morello's guys broke Mike's arm, so he couldn't drive. So Tommy had to be a driver. Now maybe for some people this was no surprise, but to me it was, since I was really invested into the story and wasn't expecting that. However, he won the race and they needed to celebrate since he's the champ. So he talked to Lucas and Don, but there was also a woman named Sarah.
You got a girl, right? I don't want you blowing all that on booze and whores.
Something, huh? Cheers.
Nah.
Well, I had my money on the other guys, so drinks are on you.
Oh.
There. Now you're ready for the pictures.
Thanks.
Now Sarah and Tommy flirted a bit, had some laughs, and I got to say writing in this game is amazing. Anyhow, Paulie was gone missing, so Tommy had to talk to a crew for a few minutes and go around the map to find this son of a bitch. And he did after we talked to some guard, I guess. He was trashed, drunk as a skunk. Now Tommy dropped Polly home and came back to HQ.
She's a tough. There's this pack of boys near her place. They're punks, cattivi ragazzi. They talk blue, make advances. Sarah, she's gonna speak at the mind. But maybe she says something they don't like. Things that get ugly. But if you working at home, this is a reminder these punks she's the Don's goddaughter.
Tommy was talking to Luigi, saying how he would appreciate Tommy even more if he dropped Sarah off home since there were some punks in the street. Tommy happily agreed and we lived a cutscene as they were walking down the street. Sarah gave the leftover to some woman named Juliet since they don't like to waste food. After that we also got another sort of romantic scene.
To like. I mentioned it to Dad this one time and all of a sudden he gets you to be my knight in shining armor. So yeah, he knows.
Well, like I say, means there's no problem with me.
If he did, you wouldn't last long. I know what happened to all the other guys I dated. I helped hide the bodies.
So now we are.
I've been trying to keep you safe, Tommy Angelo, all this time.
Let's go someplace. Tomorrow night, maybe. The pictures, maybe.
Now here comes the situation Luigi told us about. These punks were annoying, I'm not gonna lie. So we beaten them up and all of a sudden some crazy huge guy jumped on Tommy as he tried to reach Sarah and help her. So we encountered a little boss fight. But it wasn't that hard since we had to just do a heavy attack and some fast ones and then we could finish him off, as well as the other punks. After that, Sarah complimented Tommy's fighting skills and said that they should go to her place to stitch Tommy up.
Just be quick about it, will ya?
It's gonna take as long as it takes. The sloppier the stitch, the uglier the scar.
That right. You stitched up a lot of fellas.
Just my father.
As she was stitching, she was talking about her life when she was younger and it was kinda sad. She was teaching Luigi before and she was also working for them since she was a kid.
The scar will be something to remember you by, if nothing else.
You're staying over. Can't have you stumbling through the neighborhood pie-eyed. Not when them hoods are out looking for you anyways.
Now Sarah insisted Tommy to stay, so we had yet another romantic scene where they were hugging.
You got an extra blanket or something?
No. And the heat's out.
Yes, Otto.
This can't stand.
Sarah's okay, boss. I took care of it.
She started working here before she could see over the bar. I don't have a daughter of my own, Tom. I'd do anything for Luigi's little girl.
So would I. We all would.
That's right, boss. Anything for Luigi and Sarah.
Do those bastards think this is fucking Luna Park or something? I'll rip them apart with my own hands.
Our business is protection. But who's gonna pay up when they learn we can't even protect one of our own as she walks home from work?
So what do you want us to do?
Teach these boys a lesson. Break every bone in their bodies. Put them in wheelchairs. Bust their faces up so bad, even their mothers can't look at them without screaming.
We went back to Vincenzo and he gave us some bats. Took the car from the garage and drove to Chinatown to see one guy named Biff. He was the guy that knew all the information we needed, as well as the other man would tell him if something happened so he can pass the message to us or the Dawn. We went to service station since the punks that we did a beating to are held up there. So we beaten up some more thugs while the two main were on the run. So we chased them. While chasing Billy and Johnny, we had to shoot our way through the warehouse and some kind of yard. However, we couldn't let these bastards get away, so we grabbed a pair of wheels and started following them until they crashed. Tommy couldn't pull the trigger since he wasn't a cold hard killer, so Paulie put some bullets in them instead of us. The next day, while we were sitting in the HQ, this happened.
We have business to discuss, Paulie.
We're in it now, boys.
One of our associates at the coroner's office sent this over. Corpse's name is Giolotti.
You recognize him?
Sure. That's one of the punks we ran out of the neighborhood.
Now he got the bullet in the back of his head?
Yeah.
We capped him.
Well, the cops ought to thank us. We did him a favor. The guy was a rapist, boss.
Yeah? Well, he was also a city councilor's son. You want to drive a politician into Morella's arms? There's no better way than killing off his family.
Christ.
It gets worse. You left another guy in the wreck?
Yeah, but he was dead when we got there.
You gonna tell me he was the president's nephew or something?
2 in the head, Paulie. If you're gonna do a job, do it right.
He made it?
Yes. He spent the week in St. Mary's, but he pulled through.
Can he point a finger at either of you?
I don't know. Maybe.
The bastard survived, and the pot was getting hot, so we gotta stir it up again since it's already been. So we went back to Vincenzo, and this time instead of cold weapons, we wanted something to warm us up, so he gave us a bomb, because this was going to be an explosive mission.
Don't go anyplace yet. Gotta hear me out on this. It's about the girl.
Michelle?
Right. You don't have to rub her out. Just make her disappear.
Now, Michelle was a girl that was listening to Sam, and she knew what business Sam and we do, so we couldn't risk it. Now, instead of popping her brains out, Sam told us to make her leave town. But first stop was to drop off Sam to the church, since it was Johnny's funeral. After a quick stop, we went to do our mission, and that was to drop at Corleone Hotel. Talk to Michelle, but it was easy enough since we talked to a few people and looked for clues around to find out where was she holding up. It was in room 208, and we had a little chat with her.
You, Michelle?
What's it to you?
Fella named Sam is one of your regulars.
Maybe there's a lot of guys named Sam.
You know him. Works for Don Celieri. Maybe you got him talking about our business from time to time, and maybe Don Morello offered you some money to spill what you heard.
No, Sam, trust me. I don't say nothing. He knows that.
Well, the Don's losing a lot of money because someone can't keep their mouth shut.
I was just bumping guns with some of Morello's girls. I didn't mean nothing by it. Tell him I'm sorry. Tell him I won't never open my mouth again.
I know.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
You scared then? Good. Don't you ever forget how it feels to be this scared. To know you're just one twitch away from a hole in the ground. Because if you ever show your face in this town again, they're gonna find you with 2 in the head. Do you understand? Lucky for you, Sam's got a big heart. Get dressed and make tracks. This place is gonna blow soon.
Thank you.
Just don't come back and we're square.
Now, the second part of the mission was to shank the manager of the hotel, and it was easier than it seemed until we finished off the manager because everyone was on us. Cops and security included, so we made our way to the 3rd floor by shooting them and planted the bomb. Now, cops were already in the building, so we used the window, and from the blast we got a boost to go to the other building. A bit unrealistic, but we will let it slide. While running away, we also had to shoot some cops and we got into the church without anyone noticing us somehow. Now, since we were on the side, nobody could see us except the priest, but this time not only we took some thugs out, we also took Billy out as well. We had to escape the cops and go back to HQ, and yes, I took the police car, don't ask how, but it was fun.
When I was 8 or 9, before I came over from Sicily, I had this beautiful skinny Cerneco dell'Etna. Like a little greyhound. Fastest dog you've ever seen. That's how I met the Don. We started setting up races together, betting on her with coins and rifle shells. There wasn't another dog that could catch her. She never lost. Until the day she did. We were only out a pocket knife, but I never saw the Don so angry.
She got old on you?
No. Pregnant. She went into heat, got out of the yard, and every dog in town had a turn. You're like that dog, Tommy. Every time you flash your money around, you're a bitch in heat, and everyone in that club is now looking to fuck you. And once you get fucked, you're no good to us. Do you understand?
You made your point.
Good. Because you need to think about your career here. Look, Paulie's at his ceiling. He's the guy we want in a tussle, but he's not smart enough to run anything. Sam is loyal, but he has no vision. But you, Tommy, you could run this town someday.
Well, I appreciate that, Frank. So, what happened to the dog?
The Don tried to drown her. I broke his nose.
After that motivational, wise and deep talk with Frank, we got a call from him to meet him at the HQ. It was rainy night and he told Tommy that he needed to head to the warehouse, get a truck and go with Paulie on some kind of farm. But we were waiting for Sam there. Anyways, it was a shipment and we didn't know because Sam wasn't there. So we investigated and turns out we were threatened by some thugs who actually were cops. So we proceeded deeper through the farm to locate Sam. And we did, however he was being attacked so we killed some guys. And Sam got wounded pretty badly. We had to defend the barn since Paulie went to grab a truck. It had 3 stages that was pretty easy, but we managed till Paulie came back and we put Sam in the truck. Now while on our way to the doctor to help Sam, we destroyed some cop cars that were chasing us, but there was a tiny problem. They had reinforcements, and I mean tough motherfuckers type. They sent a legit tank that was almost bulletproof. And what I mean by almost is we had to destroy the turret so they can't deal a lot of damage to us, but they had a backup. Ill guns on the side of windshields. So we had to destroy the windshields and throw a Molotov so they can burn and afterwards crash. After that exciting and hot chase, get it because of the fire, we escorted Sam to the doctor and went back home to Sarah.
You're late. Dinner's cold.
Work. Hey, boss. I came as soon as I got your message.
Sit down, Tom. We have a mole, Tom.
No. Oh.
I was up all night driving myself nuts trying to figure it out. I started thinking maybe it's one of our guys. We aren't paying his fair share. Someone with a light wallet. Maybe looking to Morello for a new suit. Frank wasn't around, so I went to the safe to get the account books. To see who's getting cents on the dollar he's earned.
What do you know?
The books are gone, Tom.
Frank.
More than 50 years I've known him. Everything I have, I got with Frank. And every buck we've earned, every dime we've paid out, it's all logged in those books. Frank hands those over to the feds, we're finished.
Frank respects one person in this whole town, and that's you. This has got to be some kind of misunderstanding.
I've been calling him all day. I went by his place. He's gone. His wife and kid are gone.
But why?
don't know. I'm sure he has his reasons. Maybe he's still smarting over the dog.
The one you tried to drown.
Yeah. Same one I shot after he wouldn't let me sink her. I was a stupid kid, Tommy. But grudge or no grudge, we gotta get those books back. Shake down all our stories. See who knows what. When you catch up to Frank, you get those books. And if he doesn't have them on him, you make him tell you where to find them. After that, you do what we gotta do.
At first, I was shocked, since Frank was one of my favorite characters, but I still didn't believe that he was a mole. Chenzo gave us a car as well as Shorty, and we went back to Chinatown to visit Biff. Now Biff told us to visit Little Tony, since he got one of the Morelos guys drunk, and while he was driving him home, the guy was also working for the feds. And he told him something important, so we went to visit our friend Little Tony. Now Little Tony explained the situation and said that the guy was Hard Muscle, located in Oak Hill, corner of Pine. Apparently Morello paid FBI, and he told Frank, but Frank didn't told Don. We drove to a safe house where Frank lived, and we had a little tail mission. Basically, we mustn't get spotted and follow him. Now Frank was left off at the airport, and he was the mole, but not quite though as you would expect. We had to clear the hangar and go after Frank, since he was waiting in the hangar, and then this happened.
Tom.
Frank, the Don sent me.
I figured as much. I'm sorry it had to be you, Tommy.
Anything you want me to tell him?
I wish it could have shaken out better, but Morello finally came after me. It's okay. You can come out. Morello offered me a simple trade. The Don's account books for our lives and tickets out of this town.
You hand the books over yet?
I'm not so stupid, Don. They're safe. Morello was waiting for this.
It's a key to a box in the Grand Imperial Bank downtown.
I told Morello I'd hand it over after the plane was fueled and ready to go. His men were meant to fetch it before we left.
I took care of them. Told them to get on a plane.
Go on, March. Alice, get aboard.
Frank, you're coming with us.
Not right now, honey. Just get buckled in. Tommy and I, we have some serious business to discuss.
But Frank...
Get on the plane, March. For Alice. For me. Get on the goddamn plane, please.
You been paid yet?
Yeah.
Now you've been paid twice. You take the ladies wherever they want to go.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Tom.
Christ, Frank. Why didn't you ask us for help?
I guess I just wanted out. One way or the other. I'm tired, Tommy. Tired of lying to my wife. Tired of checking under my car every time I take a Sunday drive. And tired of waiting for the dawn to put two in my temple.
God damn you, Frank.
We let Frank go, and left Salieri thinking we killed him and his family. Frank gave us the key and we went to the bank and opened up a case where the book is placed. They also made a fake funeral for Frank as well. Had to burn his house down to get rid of all the evidences except the book that we had.
Look at these houses. Big yards, white picket fences. It's the American dream, eh, Tommy?
I suppose.
Not for you?
No, sir. I like being closer to the business.
Don't let the flower beds and front porches fool you. There's more criminals out here than in the rest of the city combined.
While in a car with Don Salieri, Morelos got a prosecutor on his payroll named Watkins. He was a friend with Gilotti, a kid that we killed in a car crash. Now Morello was on to us because he knew that we had something to do with Gilotti's death. He just didn't have the evidence, but he had few witnesses. But Paulie and Sam are taking care of that. We had a different job. We needed to open up a safe located in his villa. However, Tommy doesn't know how to do it, so we are accompanied with an Italian guy named Salvatore. Now this was a funny situation we were in since he didn't know how to talk English, so he was talking the Italian the whole time.
Parli almeno un po' di italiano? Please, understand. Entriamo dal labirinto senza farci sentire né vedere. La cassaforte è dietro un dipinto al primo piano. Dammi un po' di tempo e lascia fare tutto a me. Quella cassaforte avrà sicuramente un allarme.
Okay, my turn. Do what I do. Do not get caught.
Sì.
After a comedic moment, it was time to get in the villa and find the safe. Now we can't just waltz right in since they are guards, but we took them out quietly and found a safe behind a painting on the first floor. Since Tommy didn't understand a single word he said, he activated an alarm, so we had to shoot our way through and escape, as well as get Salvatore home. Now Don was selling his last shipment of booze, however Paulie got an idea and he met some new guy named Gates in the bar and made a plan. Pay him to get his whiskey, but it has to look like a heist, so Morello tax can be put down and Morello pissed off. We went in the parking lot and met Gates, and Paulie punched him to look like a heist, but Morello guys were just around the corner. Now Gates got shot but he survived, and we had to escort and protect the truck to get to the warehouse safely, and so we did. As we were descending, tougher and tougher mobs were there, but we killed them. And somehow the place got set on fire, but we extinguished it. Now when we came down to the ground, we had to get in the car and defend the truck, but instead of on foot, we had to do it inside 4 wheels. At the end, this is how my car looked like. Yeah, pretty beaten up. The whiskey was good, even got Don approved badge, so we made a toast. Couple of days later, we went to the Pepper's restaurant to grab a bite with Don. Now while we were about to eat, Morello's gang came outside the restaurant and started shooting. We made a table as a cover, but it wouldn't last long. Don was defending the restaurant, buying us time to flank them from the side. And that's what we did. As also saying we go, the lion, the witch, and the audacity of this bitch. Carlo ratted us out, so we went to visit him. Don punched him a few times, but it wasn't enough, so he pushed Don away and went through a window. So we had to chase him down. And then when Don came, we could see the anger that he felt by smashing Carlo's skull. On the other side, Morello captured some guy named Gordy, and this was his brother Sergio. Now Gordy was planning a strike on the docks where Sergio is ruling with an iron fist, so Morello killed the bastard. Now we were also planning an attack on Morello. However, we first needed to do a bit of shakedown. For a longer period of time we are having a problem with politician Gilotti, but we had to do it in public so everybody can see and be afraid that Morello isn't that tough as it looks. So we went down at the docks and there was a giant steamboat. Now on that boat are rich and important people, Gilotti included. In fact, he was the host since it was his birthday. Now we cannot go like a gangster there, so we met Sam to tell us to grab a sailor's uniform and we went on steamboat. Now we also had an insider, a janitor that placed a gun in a toilet. So we went there and grabbed it so we can assassinate Gilotti. After we killed him, we had to shoot our way out and wait for Sam and Paulie to pick us with a speedboat. After not only being a good mob but a good assassino as well, the game puts us in a cutscene where Sam and Vincenzo are chasing Sergio down. Now this scene was epic since it included train and them making it just on time, but unfortunately their luck ran out and this time Sergio got lucky. Here is a bit of a backstory with Sergio. He's a Morello stopper, controls the unions as well as the dock. Basically what's being imported into the city, he sees it. And we needed to kill him so Morello's big part of income can be wiped out. Now at the HQ, Vincenzo gave us the bomb that we needed to plant under the car, and this was the after effect.
Yeah, I'll be home before supper. Hey, you wanna go dancing this weekend? Maybe drop the kid off at your pop's place. Yeah, I'm still here. Oh, Christ. Hey! Stop! No.
Oh, God! Abby, what's going on?
Pick up. Vinny. It all went bad.
Hey, pull it together, Tom. Whatever happened, happened. There's nothing you can do about it now. Sergio's luck is running out.
What are you talking about?
Sam and Paulie have found him. He's in Georgie's restaurant across town. You need to get over there fast.
Even though we fucked up, Sergio's luck still runs out. So we went to Georgie's restaurant to meet Sam and Paulie. Obviously we had to shoot our way and chase Sergio because that's what we do 80% of the time. Sergio escaped again. But not for a long time since Tommy had an ace up his sleeve, and that was to get on the bike and chase. Now after some time, Sam and Paulie caught up to us, but they ain't Tommy, so they crashed 3 seconds later. I was laughing hard at this scene, since the game does sometimes delivers amazing jokes. Anyways, the last destination was Lost Haven Harbor, and we weren't alone. Now Tommy also did a sick trick that gives us the adrenaline needed for this mission, because we needed to kill 100 of them before we get into the cutscene.
You just winged me, asshole! You think you're the guy who's gonna kill me? What did I tell you? No one can touch me.
You ain't that lucky, bastard.
Wait. No!
After we killed Sergio, it was chaos for weeks. Our guys against their guys, and Morello gone to ground. But a boss can't stay hidden forever. For a Don to be feared, he's gotta be seen. Finally, word came through that he was gonna break cover.
We'll meet him in the streets.
We do him like this. We wait outside the theater till the end of the show.
We kill Morello in public, in front of the city's creme de la creme. Then they'll all know who's in charge. And it doesn't matter if you have a badge or a gavel or a fat wad of cash in your pocket. If you cross Salieri and his boys, you're dead.
After 10 years and more, the day has finally come. We had a chance to whack Morello. Even though we had a chance for once, we must make it work. Otherwise, all of this was done for nothing. Nada. Salieri, as smart and strategic person he is, in this moment, he's missing the big picture and a solid plan. He wants him so badly that he just wants us to rush right in and kill him. No matter the security, the police, the people around him, the risk his boys has to go through. Tommy was skeptical. He didn't know if the plan was gonna work. Paulie and Sam, like Frank said, are both short-sighted and impulsive. Yeah, they're loyal and all, but if they die, then who are they going to be loyal to, other than being in the grave itself? While driving on our way to the theater, everyone had a pep talk, talking about the life after Morello and how would Serielli react and so on. However, once we got in front of the theater, Morello rushed into the car and drove off. So we had to chase him. Again, the plan has yet failed, since it wasn't planned right, but no matter if we made another one, they all had the same goal, and that was to kill Morello. After chasing him down for like 10 minutes, his stop was at the airport. Morello's defense was like a Chinese wall, but nothing Paulie, Sam and Tommy can't do. After opening the gate, Morello was in the plane, ready to take off, but we mustn't let him escape. So Paulie was driving, Sam is in the back, and Tommy is in the passenger seat, just ready to put this to an end. So we started shooting the plane and his engines, and the plane took off. However, it was already going down. Now all we had to do was to chase him yet again. God damn it, game. I wish you could change it every now and then, because chasing, you get tired of it, okay? But hey, I ain't complaining. After the plane has landed, we shot Morello a couple of times, and that was it. Our competitor, biggest and toughest enemy, has fallen. But that wasn't the end. It was just another chapter that has been written. The game sets us back to the scene where Salieri's gaze lingers on the photograph, his mind drifting back to a time where the world seemed simpler. The faces in the picture bring back a flood of memory nights filled with laughter, the thrill of building an empire from the ground up, and the deep sense of brotherhood that bound them together. Each face in the photograph carries a story, and many of these stories ended in blood and betrayal. Salieri feels the weight of his role as the head of the family, a burden that grows heavier with each loss and every hard decision he's had to make. The photograph is a poignant reminder of the cost of power and the sacrifices made along the way. The picture also stirs feelings of loyalty and betrayal, while others have turned traitor, lured by promises of power and wealth from rival families like Morello's.
You fucking phantom. I've been chasing you for 3 goddamn years. Would you like for this, Tom? Maybe you in a chair.
You don't want the guy who was punching tickets. You want the guy who was handing them out.
So that's what this has been all about, huh? You offering up Salieri.
The Don's books. The ones Frank stole. I have them. They're enough to put Salieri away forever, and they're yours. Assuming we have a deal. My family. For the Don. I wasn't about to give up the good life, I know that. I just told myself that I was smarter than Morello. That I wouldn't turn around one day and find Paulie or Sam pointing a gun at my head. The thing is, you don't see it. When you're out on the street, scrapping, fighting for your life, then the guy next to you isn't just your partner, he's your brother. You'd stick a knife in someone for your brother, right? But at night, you lie awake, wondering what he and Adon were whispering about behind the bar. Wondering if your best friend is hungry enough to betray you.
Any trouble?
No, boss. No trouble at all.
Got something else for me? Paulie's feels a little light.
There's a little extra in mine to cover the difference.
You ever go swimming, Tom?
Been to the shore a few times, sure.
I knew a couple of guys once. Took some dames out to the lake. Had a few beers, a few laughs. Then one of them decides to go in the water. Gets to the center of the lake and realizes he's running out of steam. Can't make it back in. He starts shouting for help. Now the other guy, he's a strong swimmer. He goes out in the lake to drag his buddy back to shore. Problem is, the first guy, the one too stupid to know when the water's too deep for him, he panics. Grabs his friend by the neck and they both go under and don't come up again. Paulie's your friend. And I know you're loyal to him. And I respect that. But don't you ever pay his tab again.
In my opinion, I started having thought about Salieri wanted Paulie gone for a while now. Either he wasn't earning that much or he was a loose cannon. Anyhow, we got another mission to do, and that's to eliminate Turnbull, but not face to face, rather from distance. So we went to Vicenza. He said that we should go to an old prison and climb up to the tower since there is a sniper waiting for us. So we headed to prison, talked with some guy, and said we just needed to follow a green sign, so we did. We headed into sewer, knocked a few guys down, flipped some switches to open iron doors. And voila, we are at the top, ready to take this bastard down. Now, we only had one chance, which means one bullet, but since I came from all Call of Duty time, I did it first try and ran, because no cops are on our asses. When all of a sudden a tower crashes and we fell down. Now not only we have cops on our tail, but we needed to escape the prison. So we killed few of them, managed to find a way out, and somehow drove and escaped after that. So we went home to Sarah.
Did you hear about this Turnbull?
Heard he was crooked as the day is long.
Says in the paper he's going to be remembered for fighting to pass the 19th Amendment. Put his whole career on the line for it.
Which one was that again?
Women's suffrage, you idiot. He gave me the right to vote, Tom. Gave it to his wife and 6 daughters, too. Guess nobody's just one thing, are they?
Guess not. I gotta go to work.
Tom, don't do nothing you don't want to be remembered for, you hear me?
Probably too late for that.
Business is going good. We are climbing up the ranks. Everyone is happy, but in this business, it's never enough. So we are all sitting at the HQ. Tommy, Paulie, Sam, Don. Don said that he has a job for us, and that Sam knows all the details. But long story short is that we need to steal the boxes where are the cigars, because apparently there are diamonds in them. But the place is lurked with feds. Now while driving on the way there, Tommy and Sam were laughing at the Paulie. He seemed down, and it's not because of jokes, rather because he didn't hit anything huge like Tommy or Sam did, and because he earned the least out of them. So he shared a plan to do a bank heist, and he needed the muscle to cover his ass. Now this sounded absurd because he didn't tell Don, nor does he want to tell, at least not in the beginning, but rather after it, so he can get his cut. But that all wasn't going to happen since turning on Don is breaking the rules of family, and we all know the consequences. Now Tommy's job was to get in the truck and deliver it to where Sam and Paulie were located, so we can go in the back, while Paulie and Sam are dressed as delivery guys. We made a stop to the warehouse. They bought Tommy some time to get in the warehouse and find the location of cigars. We searched the file cabinet and found that they are located in D2. We found the boxes and Sam helped Tommy to get them in the truck, while Paulie was guarding. After we stole and put the boxes in the truck, so we had to be sneaky and we had to go into alleys so cops won't see us, because they blocked the roads. We managed to escape, and then we find out something more tragic than Paulie's story with the bank heist and his plans. There were cigar boxes, however in them there was dope, something Don said we should never do or sell or do any kind of business with. Yet he's starting to be like Morello, a traitor. Don came to see if we managed to do a job, but we pretended like nothing happened and went to the train station with Paulie, and he had to say something.
You got a family to look after. I get that. But think about what this could mean for them.
Watch it, buddy. You're treading into enemy territory without a map.
Yeah. I don't know what it's like for you going home to your wife and kid, but that's why I'm doing this. Who's gonna marry me? Nearly 40 years old and nothing to show for it but my rap sheet. But we do this, I get enough scratch to finally get out? Who knows?
You're not built for the domestic life, Paulie. 6 months in, you'll put a bullet in your brain out of boredom.
Christ. I'm ready to punch my ticket right now. We sit around for 6 months, just playing cards and busting balls, and I start to get lazy. Then everything blows up, and I gotta knock the rust off or I'm dead. One day I'm fighting to stay awake while the Don's telling us a story about the old days. One I've already heard 100 times, and the next day I'm getting shot at, trying to keep from shitting my pants. It's fucking wearing me out, Tommy.
So you're looking for the big one, though?
I know it's a snipe hunt. Every little mobster goes to bed dreaming about that last big score. But if we do this thing, I don't know. Might be just enough to get me a little pizzeria or something, you know?
Sure. But if we're doing this, we're waiting until things calm down.
Ah, you're already hooked, pal.
Maybe.
It's a heist day, and time to rob a bank with Paulie. Now the plan is simple. Paulie is guarding the entrance and watching the civilians, while we are escorting the manager to the safe. But things didn't go as planned. So we had to kill some cops, grab a key on a table and open a vault. We grabbed all the money we could, the alarm was set off, and we had to fight our way out. We escaped through the alleyway, waited for Paulie and his slow ass to get the money in the car and drove off to lose the cops. After we made it, we celebrated with Paulie. He said to come back to his house tomorrow, so we headed off home to Sarah and spent some time with her.
Well, look at this. Christ has finally risen. I was getting ready to call the coroner.
Sorry. Had a bit of trouble falling asleep is all.
Me too, thanks to you tossing and turning all night. Okay, what'd you do?
We're just feeling lucky is all.
Got that right, champ.
But I've been thinking.
Oh yeah? I'll call the papers.
I've been thinking about taking you and a kid out to the shore.
You serious? Ain't you working?
Polly and me, we've come into some money.
Huh. One of his cracked angles finally pay off?
Yeah, something like that. Pack a few bags. I'll swing by after I go around to Polly's.
What ain't you telling me, Tommy?
Nothing.
Sure, you and Polly are suddenly flush and now you want to leave town for a few days? That don't square.
What's the point of making a buck if we can't spend it?
That ain't it. You're moving, even when you're standing still. Yeah, you're nervous about something. Probably you don't even know why yet.
Well, that must be it.
You better figure it out before you get to Polly's, just in case it's him that got you all wound up.
Polly's all right. Don't worry about it.
Well, I guess I'll see you soon.
Anyways, we are headed to meet Paulie at his apartment, but if you are still watching this video, I want you to comment down mafioso.
Ah, Jesus. Polly. Polly. Oh, God.
Paulie.
Sam, it's me. It's Tom.
Where's Paulie?
He's dead. I'm looking at him slumped over in the hallway, torn a fucking skull.
Oh, God. I was calling to warn him.
About what?
Jesus Christ. I owe you fellas my life 3 times over.
Warn him about what, Sam?
Salieri. He found out about the bank job. You're in deep shit, Tom. You gotta disappear.
Okay. Okay. I just need some cash to get me and the girls out of town. Can you swing that?
Sure. Anything, pal. You want me to come to Polly's?
No, I can't stay here. Meet me at the city gallery.
Yeah, okay. Keep your head down, Tom.
I'll see you soon. And thanks, Sam.
I always pay my debts, Tom. You know that.
Paulie was dead. Salieri found out about the bank heist. Now I definitely knew Sam was a snitch, since us two busted our balls to get to the money and escape the cops. Plus the money was gone. Anyways, we drove off the gallery and that's where we met Sam like we said over the phone call.
Don't move, Tommy.
Shit.
Hey, Tom.
Sam. What the hell's going on?
You and Polly put me in a bad spot.
I know, Sam, but I'm sorry about that, but I need to get out of town. Can you help me or not?
There you go again. Making me choose between my friends and the family. This is what you were looking for, Polly's. Here's your cut. It's more than you deserve.
Sam. You killed him. You killed Paulie.
No. Paulie got himself killed.
And you seem real tore up about it.
I'm just in a good mood. Things are right between me and the Don. I'm moving up, and I just found this big bag of money. The Don knows about Frank, Tom. The whore, too.
That whore? The girl you were sweet on?
You're the one that let her live. I'm sorry about this, Tom. But our business has rules. Shame, too. Don Salieri really liked you. Guess we'll both have a good cry at your funeral.
You think you're doing this because you're loyal, but you're not. You're just scared.
Maybe. But you would have lived a lot longer if you would have just looked over your shoulder from time to time. Goodbye. Don't let him suffer, boys. He's my buddy.
The Lion, the Witch, and the audacity of this bitch. My instincts were right. Sam stabbed us right in the back. We had to whack him and whack him for good. After shooting a couple of guys, we proceeded into our final room where we finished off Sam. And here is what he had to say whilst he could.
Nobody's carrying you to the doctor this time, Sam.
You kill me now in the dawn. She's never gonna stop looking for you. But you let me live. I'll tell Salieri you're dead. You can disappear. Just like Frank. Only you'll be smart enough to stay gone. Right?
What happened to him?
He was hiding out in Europe. What a dumb bastard. He started betting at the dog track. Got spotted by a friend of the family. So Salieri, he sent out a crew.
And his family? Christ.
You can't do it, can you? You always that little voice in the back of your head. Maybe sounds like your baby girl. Or Sarah. Always telling you not to pull that trigger. And you can't make up your mind.
It's getting easier every time you open your fucking mouth.
We sure had some laughs, right? Remember that time? Me, you, and Paulie.
sympathize with the situation, Tom, and I want to help your family, but I can't do anything unless you're willing to testify in court. You understand that, right? You'll have to sit in that box, stare down Salieri, Ralphie, Vinny, maybe even Sarah's father. I don't know if you got the stones for it, if I'm being honest.
I'll do what needs to be done. But you need to get my family new identities and ship them far away from here.
Well, hold on. There's a long road between us sitting here bumping gums and Sarah sleeping under new stars.
Then I'm sorry I wasted your time. And mine. I gotta get out of town.
Look, Tom. I got a family too. Wife, 4 boys.
All Irish twins.
Yeah. So you know I understand what you're going through. All the worrying over them, the fear that one of them's gonna go before you do. With this case, it'll be one of the biggest this city has ever seen. It could drag on for years. I don't know if I can protect you for that long, not the way things are downtown.
Everyone's gotta eat, right? Even dirty cops.
Just being honest here. There's a few badges I can trust downtown, but not many. And if it comes down to you or me taking a bullet, I'm not gonna make my wife a widow. Keeping you alive ain't exactly the moral course, but I'll try.
That's a pretty good sales job. Trying to make me think you got nothing on the line. But this is your whole career right here. However it works out for me, whether I live or die, you get to crack the Morello case and take down a Don. Salieri will be your legacy.
Don't go thinking you know me, Tom. Salieri belongs behind bars. I'll help you so long as you help me put him there. That's all this is.
Then that has to be enough. A long time ago, in another life, someone once told me that family is a man's Achilles heel, his greatest weakness. Maybe he was right. Because everything I've done, both good and bad, I've done for my family. I've turned my back on people they thought were my friends. I've kept a lot of hard promises. I spent 8 years totally alone, trying to find myself so I could come home. A better husband, a better father, a better man. Now that I'm a lot older and just a bit wiser, I see that family is our greatest weakness, but it's also our greatest strength. It gets us out of bed in the morning. It lets us chase our dreams, even when they're moving too fast to catch. It keeps us from falling over when we're too tired to take another step.
Mr. Angelo.
Yes. Mr. Salieri sends his regards.
Tommy!
That's okay. You're safe now. You're all safe.
Remember that money, jobs, even best pals will come and go. But family is forever.